As we were getting into the helicopter, it was just me, my husband, and the pilot. As we're getting in the helicopter, he said, "Doors on or off?" And we're like, absolutely, doors off.
This is making me so excited for travel.
Yeah, well, good. That's why I'm here.
I'm Sujean, and this is Alchemy Social, a podcast about the magic of in-person experiences. Today I'm sitting down with Pavia Rosati, one of the most trusted voices in travel. She's the founder and CEO of Fathom, an award-winning editorial platform known for insider travel recommendations, including a widely read Substack called Way to Go. She's co-authored 2 travel books, and she previously served as executive editor of the online media company Daily Candy.
The thing that I say I've always done in my career is I like to connect people to pleasure. It's always about helping you spend your free time in very good ways.
Yeah. People say don't mix work and play. And if you really love something, maybe you shouldn't do it for work because it can take away from the beauty of it. Has that happened in any way with travel?
Early in my career, I had a really interesting learning experience about that.
Just in my personal travel planning, it's basically down to asking one friend I trust.
We want to be that friend, actually.
Yeah. When she told me she also splits her time between New York and London, I knew we'd get along. And I love how she balances endless global adventures with dinner parties at home.
I like something that seems to be one thing on the surface and can exist on the surface, but then can go a little bit deeper also. That's really the top advice that I would give someone.
I'm so glad you're here. Hit subscribe so we can stay connected, and let's dive into this conversation of Alchemy Social. Hi, Pavia.
Hi, Sujean.
I'm very excited you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
I was looking at your LinkedIn profile before this interview just as part of the prep. It reads like an adventure novel.
No, it doesn't. I mean, that's really nice of you to say, and I like how you spin it, but let's not exaggerate, no.
Not just because of all of the world travels that your career and yourself have taken you to, but also because the writing itself is legitimately entertaining and very compelling. The through line, though, that I also noticed throughout your career is what I would describe as taste. You have great taste, and it seems like you have built a career on that. I am curious if there is an early moment when you realize that having great taste is a skill that you could leverage and build into a career.
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you for that. That's incredibly kind of you to say, to get from a LinkedIn page that I don't really pay too much attention to. That really is nice of you to say. I think a through line like that makes sense in hindsight as opposed to as a direction. So I remember in my mid-20s, I thought, what am I doing? Like, where am I going? What am I doing? I had friends in college who were on a different path. They were English majors, but then they got a job at a bank. And they did that analyst program for 2 years. Yeah. And then they were off and their careers were taking off. And I was like, I don't know. I'm at the Village Voice. What am I doing here? And, where am I going, right? And I thought, am I reacting to my life or am I directing my life? And I was envious of the people who knew what they wanted to do. They went to law school, they were on the path. They went to business school, med school, they were on the path. I realized in the middle of my sophomore year that I couldn't be a lawyer, which is what I thought I was going to be my entire life. So suddenly I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why not? Well, the truth is I was sitting in my American government seminar and I looked around and I thought, oh my God, I hate all these assholes. And every single one of them is going to go on to law school after this. I can't handle 3 more years of them. Isn't that nice of me? So I started working at a fashion magazine because I read in some, probably a trashy Judith Krantz novel, that you should do what you do if no one paid you to do it, and that's how you'd be happy. Yeah. And for me, that was flipping through fashion magazines from the time that I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And, I skipped 17 magazine. I went straight to Mademoiselle and W when I was 13 years old and Harper's Bazaar. So I loved magazines. So anyway, I got an internship out of college at Mirabella and then just kind of kept writing. I said I was riding the wave, right?
Yeah.
One job in the fashion department at Mirabella led to a job in the photo department, to editorial, which is where I would have wanted to be, to the Village Voice. And at a certain point I said, all right, well, am I just reacting to opportunities that come up as opposed to saying, this is what I want to do, and then go out and get it? So I recognize that looking back, there's an incredible through line and it all makes sense. But I just want to be clear that it isn't as though I thought, this is what I'm good at, this is what I know, this is how I'm going to go get it.
That makes a lot of sense. I think that it unfolds often with every experience that you have. It seems, though, that you have developed, either intentionally or unintentionally, a knack for identifying places, hotels, destinations, experiences that you consider worth sharing?
For sure. And if there is a through line, taste is very nice.
Yeah.
The thing that I say I've always done in my career is, and even in my personal life, I like to connect people to pleasure. So whether that is working as an entertainment editor and telling you which movies to go to, which I did at AOL, which CD to buy this week, that dates how long ago this was that I was an entertainment editor at Daily Candy, which new restaurant to pay attention to now at Fathom, where to go. It's always about helping you spend your free time in very good ways.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely what I think the through line of my career is. And the other thing I like doing is I like seeing 15 things and telling you the 4 that I think you should care about.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm voracious. I want to see a ton of stuff. I want to know everything and then be able to sort of edit, file away, filter for an audience of.
What is the filter that you use? What creates like the criteria for something that services something to the top?
Do I like it? I mean, does it get me excited? I mean, if I see everything, then that means, I want to be personally excited about it. I mean, I'm an enthusiast, right? I'm a cheerleader. I get very excited and passionate about the things that I like. If I don't like something, I'm not going to talk about it. So the filter is really simple. Does it work for me?
Yeah. Do you find that there are certain styles that resonate the most with you? How would you describe your taste?
Well, impeccable, of course. How would I describe my taste? You're asking tough questions. How would I describe my taste? Well, I really look for quality.
Yeah.
I look for thought. I love an idea. I love something clever. I love something surprising. And I like something beautiful.
Yeah.
And I like depth. I mean, it's no accident that the website, my business is called Fathom. Can you like fathom implies deep understanding of something. I like something that resonates. I love something that makes you take a closer look.
Yeah.
I like something that seems to be one thing on the surface and can exist on the surface, but then can go a little bit deeper also.
Yeah.
One of my favorite cultural things ever was Robin Williams' portrayal of Aladdin, the great Disney movie, right? Because on the surface, he's just a genie.
Yeah.
But the parents who were watching it could realize at a certain point he's riffing and pretending he's William F. Buckley, and he's making all these other inside jokes that if you understand the references, you get it. You don't have to, but how much more delightful to see that there's something else going on beyond what the high quality surface is.
Yeah.
That's it. I think that's how I define it.
Love that. I mean, that's very refreshing because I think that's what a lot of consumers and travelers are looking for to cut through the cookie cutter. Going back to your Daily Candy experience, that company was started in 2000. You joined in 2001. And under your leadership, you led the editorial content team there. Your audience started, I think, around 70,000. And by the time you had grown it, it was millions across the country.
Yeah.
What was it about Daily Candy at that time that was so groundbreaking?
Well, credit to Danny Levy, who created it. Daily Candy, at a time when email still felt fresh, because in 2000 we weren't being inundated by 400,000 marketing messages per week from anybody we ever came into contact with.
I barely remember what that felt like, but
right?
yes, there was a time.
She was able to tell you one smart, cool thing in your city, which happened
Yeah.
to be New York. So it had a very personal voice. It had a very personal style. And it was delightful. I mean, Daily Candy, it was something sweet every day.
Yeah.
So the audience responded to that, and it was the right moment for that.
And fast forward decades later, Substack is like the new.
All right. I mean, here's what's hilarious. So my business partner at Fathom is Geraldine Gerba, who I met at Daily Candy. We hired her as an assistant right out of college. And within, I think, 3 weeks, I said, can I also make you New York City editor?
Yeah.
She's a genius. She's wonderful. She's an incredible colleague. But we were in the newsletter business at Daily Candy. Yeah. And so we just kind of laugh that newsletters are back because, I mean, listen, it's the same culturally in everything, politically also. There's never anything new under the sun. Yeah. The pendulum just continually swings back and forth. Yeah. We've just been doing this long enough that the pendulum is sort of back in our corner now.
So exciting. So what is new about building a Substack? You've developed a really strong following. And there are new features, there are new tools just available through the Substack platform.
Yeah. I don't know that we're using them all. I mean, just because the bells and whistles are there doesn't mean you have to use them. I mean, we're using them for text. Yeah. Substack is great. It's not the most sophisticated of platforms. I mean, it's very simple, but I would argue that can be a strength because it forces you to kind of stay focused and stay tight in what you're doing.
Cool. Does it feel much easier this go around?
Oh, it's just different. It's just a different product. I joke that the Substack that we create, which we call Way to Go. Way to Go was always the tagline of Fathom. Yeah. We decided to call the Substack Way to Go. It's a little unplugged, right? There's some stuff that we'd say in the newsletter, again, because email, yes, we're bombarded with marketing messages, but email is still a more intimate media environment than the web. Yeah. So there are some things that we would publish on Substack that we wouldn't necessarily put on the website. Right. The website is, while still very voicey, is I don't know if a little more polished is the word for it, because we certainly polish the Substack, but there's a little bit of a breezier tone to the Substack.
Cool.
Yeah.
So after Daily Candy, you took a beat, not too long of a beat, and you transitioned a career as being as the leader of editorial to then becoming your own entrepreneur and starting a business from scratch.
Yeah.
What were you thinking at that time?
Tell me what I was thinking. So when I want to make fun of myself, I joke that it was a pig-headed case of if you want something done right, do it yourself. Yeah. Which I probably shouldn't say. So I started scheming Fathom in maybe 2009 and filling notebooks with ideas. At the time, the internet was doing so much for me. What the internet was failing me on was the travel advice that I needed as somebody who really liked to travel. Mm-hmm. And I joke that I kind of reached my boiling point when I was looking for a hotel in Beirut. I was standing in a bookstore in London and going through different books. I went through websites. Okay, I get that it's the Middle East, and American publications at the time, weren't doing a ton of Middle Eastern coverage, but I couldn't believe how hard it was to figure out a hotel for 3 nights in Beirut. Yeah. I even speak French, so I could even check the French resources, Lebanon, the Paris of the Beirut, the Paris of the Middle East, the super strong ties. And I was like, not even the French magazines can help me out here. Yeah. So, and then when we were in Lebanon, we were trying to figure out, should we go to Jordan or should we go to Syria? I couldn't get an answer. Yeah. So that kind of was the germ of thinking, all right, how hard can this be? So, and at the time, listen, what the internet was really good at was giving me the cheapest plane ticket from London to Beirut. What it was bad at doing was telling me what to do once I got there. Yeah. So I thought, let me figure this out.
Wow. And the company was born.
Somehow, yes. Totally didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And did too many things the hard way, right? Did too many things the hard way. I mean, if I think back on how much I agonized over which bank I should be banking with, who cares? Who really cares?
Right.
So anyway, yeah.
Well, all of that obsessing over the details, I'm sure, adds up eventually.
One would hope.
To good consequences. Had you had entrepreneurial dreams as a child?
No.
Really?
No. If I could do anything, I would shut down businesses. There's too much clutter. There are too many things that do not need to exist. No ambition to do that. No.
Yeah. Why did you keep going?
Well, I'm here now.
Yeah, I know. But
I know. Somehow.
So I
thought I would do it for 15 years, for 5 years,
yeah.
move on and do something else.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what? It's a nice way to move through the world. It's nice to have a platform to be able to share the great things that I find.
Yeah.
If there's one terrible thing about running a business, it's that actually sharing the things that I've seen around the world is kind of the last thing I ever get around to on my list of things to do. I have like 3 years of travel experiences that I have yet to put on Fathom. There's a lot of hoteliers who are like, is she ever going to write about me? There's a lot of Pavia Rosati voodoo dolls out there.
Yeah. Just because there's so much.
When you're running a business, you have to think about a million things. Here's what I would love to do. I would love to work for Fathom.
Yeah.
I'd love to work for Fathom. I want someone else to own the business, and then I want to work at Fathom because I think it's a really nice product that shares great stories.
So interesting. That actually is exactly a question I wanted to ask, which is that, people say don't mix work and play. And if you really love something, maybe you shouldn't do it for work because it can take away from kind of the beauty of it. Has that happened in any way with travel?
No, it hasn't. And I'll tell you, early in my career, I had a really interesting learning experience about that. Yeah. So the first real serious job I had, I was the assistant to an arts and culture editor at a magazine.
Yeah.
So that meant it was great, right? She could only see so much. So part of my job was to go and see things. Mm-hmm. And because I was 23, 24, it meant that I could go to 2 movie screenings after work. It meant that I could go see musicals. It meant that I would go see bands play. It meant that all this great cultural scouting. It meant that the New York Times Arts and Leisure section felt like homework, not fun. Mm. And at a certain point, I thought, the stuff that I love has become my job. Do I want that to be my job?
Yeah.
So anyway, I left that job and then I couldn't find work, so had to temp for a little bit. And I temped at a bank, at Credit Lyonnais. I temped in private banking. I didn't know anything about private banking. And I lied that I knew how to use Excel to get the job. Anyway, it was a couple of days, but the guy liked me, so he kept me on for 6 weeks. And I was fascinated to see. So at 12:30 every day, he would say to me, Pavia, go to lunch. It was a French bank. And I'd say, I'm just finishing this. He's like, no, Pavia, go to lunch.
Great boss.
He didn't want me back before 1:30.
Yeah.
At 5 or 5:30, I don't remember, he'd say, Pavia, go home. I'd be like, Monsieur Langlais, I'm just going to finish this up for tomorrow. No, go home, do it tomorrow. And I realized that at 5:30, everybody was parading out of the office. There was no, I'm staying late to get it done. Yeah. There's no, I'm staying late because the magazine is closing. It was like, I'm here to work, and then I live when I leave the office. Mm. And it was really informative to see that because I have never again regretted making money by doing the stuff that I love, because I got a small glimpse of what the alternative would be. Mm. And I'm much happier living and working, and there not being a differentiator between the two, than I would be working to live.
So that when the clock hits 5:30, you stay because you want to.
I mean, 5:30, we're talking in the morning or at night, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I joke that I don't know what it's like to travel without a notebook, right? Because I'm constantly observing and taking notes and filing things away. And I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
your job, you do many different things.
Yes.
You have podcasted, you've written books, you are running an editorial travel platform, you help curate travel with concierge planning. What is your favorite part of your job?
So there's two parts that I love. I love working with great copy. I like working with good writers. And I really like the consulting arm of our business, which we're not super public about, but we've worked with many brands over the years. We've worked with Kate Spade. We've worked with Chase Sapphire. We've worked with American Express Platinum. We've worked with JetBlue. We've worked with Air France. And that's been super, super fun to help companies tell their travel stories. I really like that, because it's challenging. It's helping other people solve their problems. I like working on teams. I like working in partnerships. I like the creative brainstorming. Those are the two things that I love the most.
Cool. What does that mean to tell their travel story?
Well, so Kate Spade decided that our shopper, our client, is really interested in travel. Okay. How can we create travel content for them? So it was city guides for Kate Spade destinations, Aspen, Rio, New York City, right? They launched a new shop on the Upper East Side. We created a cute little neighborhood map for them. Thanks for coming to the store. Here's a guide to the stuff that's in the neighborhood, right? Things like that. If you remember Tumblr, which, oh man, that was such a long time ago, but we curated a year of travel inspirational things for them. Wow. And that was everything from a recipe for lemon pasta from a restaurateur in Capri to an old 60s bossa nova song to, pictures of Brigitte Bardot in a bikini that you'd want to repost on your Pinterest board, right? So we created a year of content for them, right? Wow. So there's a lot of different ways to leverage travel and this notion of exploring the world. And we like to help brands figure out what's the way that makes sense for you.
Cool. The landscape of travel content has changed drastically since you started Fathom, because when you started Fathom, it sounds like the whole point is that it was very hard to find recommendations on experiences. And now it actually feels to me as a traveler that the opposite is a problem. There's the volume of content that is being put out by media, and then on social media, everyone is an influencer and curator. And then you do have sponsored content as well. How do you think about, either as a consumer or advice to consumers, to cut through the clutter and the noise?
So, Sujean, I would say this is something that's not unique to travel. I think you can say the same thing about food. I think you can say the same thing about fashion. I mean, I think you can say the same thing about news. Any one of a number of spaces, it's just been inundated by more content, more platforms for content also. So this is not something that's unique to travel. I'm fascinated by how many people on Instagram seem to be unable to tuck in a shirt. I do not know how and why I am fed so many videos about women buttoning. I mean, you've also seen them, right? How hard is it to how hard is it to button and tuck a shirt, girls? So again, and you look up a recipe for Caesar salad dressing. You're going to be inundated by options. How do you cut through the clutter? You find someone whose style and voice resonates with you. To follow the analogy of a recipe, if Melissa Clark tells me how to make it, I'm going to trust it. It's going to be foolproof. It's going to be delicious, right? As opposed to a random person who I don't know. God love the random people. The other thing that I don't want to do is read a 500-word essay about your grandmother's Caesar salad before you just tell me how to make the Caesar salad dressing, which seems to be another. I think that's the culinary equivalent of a fashion stylist telling you how to button your shirt. Let me give you the essay about my grandmother. I love grandmothers, of course. I don't want to pretend I don't. But these, that's not necessary if what I'm looking for is just tell me how to make a Caesar salad dressing.
At Fathom, how would you describe your approach to curation?
So with very few exceptions, we're not trend-driven. We're not news-driven. I don't need a hook for a story. The only hook I need is this a cool place that people might like to travel to? So I don't, the only newsy thing that we do is we do really excellent reporting on best new hotels. So we do a preview of the hotels that are coming in January, what's projected to be opening throughout the year, and then we do periodic seasonal updates of what has opened.
Yeah.
But other than that, somebody can say, oh, I just got back from, I don't know, Cooperstown, Fredericksburg, Alaska, Prague, Rajasthan. It was great.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.
If it's a person whose taste I like and trust and whose advice I want.
Yeah.
We want Fathom to be a place that feels like your friends are giving you good travel recommendations. So again, I don't need it to be trendy. I don't need a hook. I don't need some artificial 3 makes a trend, like all these media rules. We don't care. Is it fun? Would other people have a good time going there? Do you have an interesting way of sharing it? That's a Fathom story.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, just in my personal travel planning, it's basically down to asking one friend I trust.
Well, we want to be that friend, actually. Yeah.
Is it resonating when you think about, I guess, insights that you are seeing from your end about what resonates most with your audience? Is it resonating, your style? Or
I think
or
so.
asked a different way, what resonates?
The feedback that we get that I really appreciate, and there's a theme to it because we've been getting it since the very beginning, was finally a website for me. Thank you so much. That was super complimentary. The other thing we hear is when I'm planning a trip, I go to Fathom first. The flip side of that is, oh, I wanted to go to Sumatra. You don't have anything on it yet. And it's true. Like there's 2.5 of us who do Fathom. The world's a big place. We can only get around to so many of them.
Wow, that's shocking. It feels like you have the business looks like it has.
Oh, like a big,
bigger
massive
team.
editorial
Yes.
staff. Yeah,
Wow.
no. I mean, we have a lot of contributors.
Right.
But in terms of the people who are working on it,
Wow, amazing.
no, I think we punch above our weight.
Yeah.
So what resonates with people is the style and the trust that they have in us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. When you think about the business today, from where it started, it's clearly grown. Do you think about scale as an objective?
I mean, yeah, I wish. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'd love it if we were much, much, much bigger. I mean, listen, my dream would be to, that Fathom is the chocolate to someone's peanut butter, right? That what we have is the travel intelligence. What we have is this fantastic content. What we don't have is a massive audience, right? Building an audience online, you have to do a lot of marketing. You have to buy traffic. Let's not pretend that the people who are getting 8 billion likes on social media aren't paying for that, right? If you're doing everything organically, grassroots, you're not going to grow big.
Yeah.
And it's not our style to be super self-promotional, to a fault.
It could be a point of frustration. It's also a point of differentiation because it seems like people who are not spending so much of their day selling are the ones who are actually spending more of their time being the more authentic version of themselves, which is, for a certain demographic, what draws them to you in the first place.
I know. Wouldn't it be nice if those people made all the money as opposed to the people who are just really good salespeople?
Yes. I mean, this is a tension which I find really fascinating. And it's finding that balance between staying true to your values and the integrity of what you're doing and then scale, which aren't necessarily mutually exclusive, but they don't obviously go hand in hand.
Yeah. There's some things that are good quality that are able to attract millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
But listen, think about the hotels that we feature on Fathom. I'm not interested in a 2,000-room hotel. I'm not interested in a 200-room hotel. I'm going to talk about places that are small and feel special.
Yeah.
So the fact that our website is not as big as TripAdvisor is kind of one of the reasons why it's so good.
Yeah. Mic drop.
Well, I mean,
yes. The answer is yes.
Thank you.
What are you most excited about next for the business and for your career, which is air quotes because it's just sort of life for you, I think.
You know, I'd be interested personally to see how what I know about hospitality could be translated from doing this for a website virtually to doing it in person.
Ooh, tell me more.
Well, you know, I've spent my life behind a computer. It's
Yeah.
not really my personality.
Yeah.
I'd like to get out from behind the computer and see how I can take everything that I know about hospitality, about what makes a good guest experience, about what is pleasurable for people, and actually put that into action. So as opposed to critiquing from afar, I'd like to be one of the people who's helping to create these experiences.
Wow. Do you have a format that
No.
you're...
And it's going to take a while to make this transition, right? It's
Yeah.
not, this is not a job that I'm going to find on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
This will be, yeah. So that's what, I like the idea of taking the stuff that I'm able, yeah.
Are you more drawn to a single space like a property or a restaurant, or more of an events experiences type approach?
I'm open.
Interesting.
I'm open.
Yeah.
I like to be surprised. I like to be surprised, and I would, so which is why you asked, you know, what are you looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the stuff I don't know I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be able to look back and say, oh my God, how did that was great. How did that come about? That's great. And that goes back to what I said at the beginning. You know, I realized I don't direct my life. I react to it. That's my negative way of putting it. But then it's also being able to put myself into situations where an opportunity that I wasn't expecting might arise, and then being able to say, hang on a second, let's seize that. Let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, to be very philosophical, it tracks just a sense of adventure throughout your life.
Oh, I like how you spin this.
Speaking of experiences, because that is really the heart of this podcast, actually, in-person experiences, and just something that deeply resonates with me, especially in a world that's increasingly digital. I mean, I'm on my phone a lot, and I need it, and I like it.
I know, but aren't we all?
Yes, I use it as a tool, hopefully, in a healthy-ish way, and then I'm trying to spend more and more time having high-quality in-person experiences. If a listener is about to plan a trip and it's a blank canvas, are there structural things that you would recommend in terms of how to plan a truly memorable trip?
So thank you for asking. There are a couple of guidelines. One, don't try to do too much. Don't try to plan too much. I never travel with a Google spreadsheet.
Wow.
No, are you kidding? I'm often researching a place on the plane on my way there.
Yeah.
I think there's, listen, and I'm one of these people who creates these guides because there is use to having guidance, but you shouldn't be too structured to it. You shouldn't be too wedded to what you think your plan should be. And so, you know, when people say to me, well, what are the 3 restaurants I must go to in Venice? It's like, well, listen, I'll tell you a handful of places, but then kind of see what looks good. Ask when you check into the hotel, if you like the person at the front desk, ask them what they like.
Yeah.
Right? That's trust the people in the destination that you're going to have really good insights, and leave yourself open to the experience that you didn't and couldn't plan for. Yeah. That's really the top advice that I would give someone.
To avoid overplanning and to allow room for spontaneity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really, because it helps you be in the place. It helps you your vacation shouldn't feel like a job. You shouldn't feel like I have to get there. I must do this. Let's get rid of must do, have to. Let's just get rid of all of that.
Yeah.
With very few exceptions, which is to say, if you want to see certain art shows, now that museums are very cleverly limiting how many people can get into a place. I mean, it took me many years because I'm such a last minute planner. There were many times I could never get into the Borghese Museum in Rome because they're like, sorry, you didn't book ahead. So there are very few things that I feel that you really should book ahead. Otherwise, go and have the confidence to figure it out. And maybe you do bring a list of things, but let's have that as your safety net.
Yeah.
Let's have that so that if you ever do find yourself stumped, you're like, oh, well, I hear Alcovo is a really good restaurant in Venice, and so is Antica Carampane, and, La Bita when you're tired of seafood. Oh, great. We can go there if you haven't been able to figure out what to do.
Yeah. I love that. I also think it's a good barometer of like, is a place very crowded? I think that's usually for a restaurant.
You think that's good or bad?
I think that's good if the clientele looks like they're from the neighborhood.
With one crucial difference.
Okay, tell me.
If there's a long line waiting to get in, don't go.
Ooh.
Don't go. Especially in a city like Rome, especially in a really popular place. It's Instagram bait, and it's probably gone to shit.
Love it. That's like a hot take.
By the time there's a long line outside, and a few of my old favorites in Rome have absolutely been ruined by this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Ugh. Gotta find like just the right balance of like crowded because the right people know about it and not overflowing to the point of it having become a tourist trap.
Totally. I mean, I see people waiting in lines and I'm like, really? Really? How good is that bagel?
Do you use Google Maps?
Obsessively. It's one of my favorite apps.
For discovery?
No.
No.
Okay. No. I know where I'm going.
Okay. For navigation.
Sorry, what do you mean? Like use it
like
for discovery? How?
So in the spontaneous moments when I'm not planned, I often will just open up Google Maps and see what restaurants nearby have the highest ratings.
Nope. Never. Never. And I promise you, I never will.
Why? It's been pretty effective.
Great. And maybe because listen, I'm going to sound like a journalist right now.
Okay. That's okay because
I trust the opinion of people whose opinions I trust.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not going to crowdsource a recipe. I'm going to go to a cook whose food I like to see how they want to make something. I'm going to crowdsource very little stuff. I don't care what 2014-year-olds think is a good pizza. I care what Anthony Giglio thinks is a good pizza. So that's why I wouldn't use Google Maps. Again, one of my top 3 most used apps.
Yeah.
But it's not for the recommendations.
Is there a standout recommendation that you recall that you used that changed a trip?
I did. When I finally went to Istanbul, a place I'd been wanting to go since I was 17, I finally went a couple of years ago. And the Turkish Tourism Board very generously arranged a lot of the trip with feedback from me.
Yeah.
And they assigned a guide to me. And I kind of got her name as I was getting onto the plane. Again, it's good that I like to be spontaneous because I wasn't anxious about this. And I met her at the airport. She ended up spending 10 days with me and my husband. I mean, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We got on planes together. We went around Turkey. She was amazing. Yeah. And she changed the trip. She had incredible, impeccable taste. When there was something that the tourism board had planned and we walked in, and I was like, no. She's like, good, let's go to a place I really like better. But that was having somebody local on the ground who had incredible taste, who was able to really bring her city to life in a way that an article in a travel magazine that I love would have never been able to do.
Okay, so I have to ask you.
Yes.
Where should I travel to next?
I live half my life in London.
Yeah.
So I've been exploring the English countryside and have been to some really incredible places. Time is this beautiful country house hotel in the Cotswolds that I'm super obsessed with.
Really?
Beautiful gardens. It's a mother-daughter team. The mother creates these beautiful watercolor drawings based on the flowers that they grow. And then that's what they use to make textiles and wallpaper and all sorts. So you go into this hotel room, this beautiful countryside hotel room, and the curtains and the bedspread and, you know, the tablecloth. It's all this beautiful lavender, just all these beautiful flower patterns. So I'm super into that place. I just went to the Beaver Brook in the countryside, the English countryside. You know, I'll tell you what, these old English lords, they knew how to build a country house. Beautiful, beautiful. And if you go in the summertime, they do this really fun thing where they have balloons set up out by the pool, like small hot air balloons. So you can pretend you're having tea or dinner outside in a hot air balloon.
Oh my gosh, I might do that like next month.
Well, you said you like to be pampered. They've just redone a lot of their spa, and I just did this like immersive wellness experience that begins with this great Italian healer, and he takes you on a slow walk, and then you have bare feet, and you touch the earth. And then he gives you an insane massage. And then there's like a sound bath element. And then you just kind of want to melt back into your room.
Wow.
There's a woman who does facials. And she's basically like, let's just take 15 years off your face.
Wow.
So that's a pretty nice experience. I'm going to Clayoquot. If you look at it, it looks like it's Clayoquot in the Pacific Northwest tomorrow morning. That is on Vancouver Island. That is wilderness. That is like tents, bears, hikes. I'm super excited for that.
Wow, it sounds amazing.
I'm really, I've been wanting to get to the Canadian Pacific, for decades and decades, and I'm finally doing it.
Congrats.
I went to Alaska a couple of summers ago. So that part of the world is really beautiful. It's big nature. It's the opposite of my city life.
Yeah.
You asked where you should go, and I'm telling you places that I liked. But this is what I do, right? I go to the places and then I share.
These are the
places
places that I will add to my list.
I like. So listen, if you like big nature, if you want to do something crazy and awesome, you're going to leave New York City. You're going to fly to Anchorage. You're going to drive an hour north. It's a really pretty drive, and you're going to go to Outbound Heli Adventures. You're going to park your rental car, and they're going to take you on a helicopter trip up over the glaciers. You're going to land on a glacier. You're going to fill your water bottle with glacier water.
Wow.
And then you could actually drive back to Anchorage and fly back home. And if all you do in Alaska is do this helicopter trip, you're going to be like, that was the best holiday I've ever done.
Wow.
It was spectacular. Landing on a glacier. And here's what's fantastic. As we were getting into the helicopter, it was just me, my husband, and the pilot. As we're getting in the helicopter, he said, doors on or off? And we're like, absolutely doors off. So we're just, wind rushing through.
Amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah. Best roller coaster I've ever been on.
Wow. What does glacier water taste like?
Really clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crisp and nice and clean.
Highly refreshing.
Yeah.
What is a travel hack that we should know about?
Well, I kind of don't want to tell you if you're getting on the same plane as me, but paying for the exit row seat is like business class on the cheap. Yeah, especially on an overnight flight. I end up on overnight flights a lot. I think the day flight is better, but I end up on a lot of red eyes, and so get the exit row seat.
Yeah, and you have figured out how to make work quite pleasurable. In addition to that, how do you pamper yourself?
I have dinner with my friends.
Yeah, that's the best.
I spend a lot of time around the dinner table with people I love.
Yeah.
And I have,
I agree. Nothing beats that.
I know. Life at a dinner table, right?
Nothing beats that.
Nothing with old and new friends. And that's what I really love.
Yeah. I love that. I think this might be my last question. You travel so much for work and for pleasure. You also split your time between New York and London.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think about home and a grounding force in all of these travels?
Partly it's the stuff that surrounds me.
Yeah.
I'm a thing person. I like things. I have objects from my parents' house. I have objects from my grandparents' house. So that really is something that no other space can give me. I love my apartment in New York so much that I miss it when I'm out at dinner with my friends having fun, right? Home is just, I love the fact that home is a place where I throw parties and we have dinners and we entertain, right? So home is a real locus of pleasure, whether it's, my husband, Ben, and sitting on the sofa next to me and we're watching a movie, or whether it's, I had 50 people over on Friday night for a super fun party and at 2:30 in the morning, the last person left, right? So I don't think I'm giving you a very good definition of home, but just this place that feels as great if it's just me or me and my husband or a room full of people.
I love that. Where you feel grounded by the things and the people around you.
Yeah. And also, it's a space that I've made that that feels beautiful and comfortable.
Yeah.
And not fussy.
Yeah. Pavia, thank you so much.
No, Sujean, thank you. This has been really... We should say that we met at a party and just kind of started...
On our travels.
Yeah, we met at a party at the Raffles in London. It was a book party and we just kind of totally hit it off and decided, okay, let's be friends.
Yes, because you mentioned that you were splitting your life between New York and London in addition to all of your amazing travels. And I was like, that's the dream.
For some people, it can be a dream. It's nice to have both places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can we find you and follow you on your travels and your company?
So Fathom is Fathom Way to Go on the social media. The Substack is called Way to Go. The website is fathomaway.com. I am Pavia NYC when I post, which is incredibly infrequently. So those are the places that you can find us.
Amazing. We met, I guess, while I was traveling. I think travel has been a defining and remarkable part of your career journey and the life that you've built. But as you mentioned, you seem incredibly happy sitting around a table and having great conversation, which this has been. So
thank you. Listen, it was a pleasure. Thank you for asking such interesting questions. Thank you for the thought-provoking questions.
This is making me so excited for travel.
Yeah, well, good. That's why I'm here. Call me anytime.
Pavia, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I hope you enjoy this conversation, and let's stay connected, so subscribe for updates.